5th, 2023. Yesterday, well, I'm going to go over everything really quick, and then I want you to realize how stupid these people are for falling for this. There's real constitutional federal laws, okay? They cannot be broken. It keeps everybody honest. It is what it is, and it's the laws over our land, our United States, and for every citizen. It is what it is, and it keeps everybody honest. Okay? Where the stripper in the drug cartel ran a big scam and retired Judge Pete. Shame on him. Shame on you. For shame on you. And Michelle for participating for a stripper. For shame on you. You used to enforce the constitutional laws. And now you're breaking every one that you can. For shame on you. How hard up with money were you? For shame on you. Now we're going to put it this way. How stupid and ignorant are these people? And they're stupid and ignorant. Dave told Danny, April 15, 16, 23, where they had got Eric High on November 18, 22, Walmart 62, 2 to 6 p.m., told him to go and confess to all the tapes before, and he did. Screamed out in Walmart. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to say it, my idea to do it. For all these people turn on and they fell for it. High as a kite. Just like what they did to me, where I'd wake up with bruises throwing up. They were getting me high and telling me to say stuff so I'd be sleepwalking. They had left his name in Altman Hospital, had him framed and then drugged in a confession. They had that man nailed. April 15, 16, 23. Where I've been telling them about where they kicked in my door, they didn't realize nobody should set up on cameras. They didn't realize where I had all those giant bruises, and they were everywhere. They were beating me under drugs. Beating me. Personal infection, I was being raped by that retired judge. Is he in jail? Huh? And his fucked up little bitch? I mean, seriously, why would you participate in this? Dave wants some stupid stripper? And you're going to involve, how hard up for money were you? How much hard up for money were you? Huh? It's going to come down this. April 15, 16, 23. Danny calls his dad. Ask him about that guy stalking me. He said that he didn't know why he confessed. Because he framed him and drugged him and told him to say it. Okay? He said he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. And it was only Pete up there, taping me unaware and doing all those things. And it was only him. And Pete had it set up, she couldn't get no money. Pete doesn't have anything admissible. And there was an agent up at that church asking threats on her life. And said he even spoke to him. And he was the only agent from the agency looking into it on his own. Oh my Lord. Now, were the police in my home? No. Who was it? Retired Judge Pete. Dixie. We were talking about Michelle, retired Judge Pete's daughter. Dave dated her too for a while. He's doing his 60-year-old life dream of going out, sleeping with every woman that he can, of being in his 60s. Sick, isn't it? How dare her and her family help out for a stripper from 17? Yeah. How dare they involve themselves in this? How desperate were they for money? And sick people that would even help a bastard that had been trying to kill me 4 times before them. Huh? Huh? This is where it's coming down to how dare you participate in this? The bastard tried to kill me 4 times. The last attempt he tried the night before he met them in a store. So mad trying to have me carjacked, bragged to Dixie, that he knew I was getting carjacked and took off. The same guy tried to kidnap me. Huh? He was dating Savannah too. One of her Facebook friends followed me in Brandon. Huh? Attempted break-in. They knew where the security system was. It was foiled too. See, the bastard tried to have me killed 4 times. See, Pam and Jack used to follow me around till about 1920, end of 19 into 20. Savannah got married. And then they all quit. They're all gold digging for my life. It's like, if you want Dave, take him. Leave me and my children out of this. Do you realize how mentally sick these people are? Why would you touch the wife? You want the husband, have him divorce her, move on. Take him and his money. Leave me alone. Leave my children alone. We had nothing to do with him going out with whores. Right? Right. So where Dave tried to have me carjacked, we go down to get our bed out of storage, and we get home, and he acts like he can't pick up a little board about this wide, about 5 feet long. I'm like, oh, come on, I can pick that up. Picks up, hits me in the board in the face, breaks my teeth. I had to have a crown put on this eventually. Even with our discounts, and even with our insurance, we still had to pay $1,200. And I'm like, why? I'm spewing teeth. He broke 3 teeth. You'll learn not to smart off to me. He runs and jumps in my car and meets them at a store. According to my neighbor on John Thomas Road, he showed up February 25th, 22 at McDonald's on Whipple. Her ex-husband showed up at a store, told everybody he didn't want her anymore, and asked all those people to help, and they all agreed to help. Why on God's green earth did you not call 911 for conspiracy to commit murder? Huh? The man that used to enforce the law is breaking them? How desperate are you for money, and pathetic are you? And your sick, psychotic family. You had no right being in my home. You didn't have a court order. 6-day work out at the storage unit. Someone kicks our door in the wall. So when they're supposed to set up their button cameras. By the next week, I try to mow the lawn. I have giant bruises. Throwing up, almost passing out. Neighbor runs over to help me. Everybody knows what's happening. Everybody's seen the giant bruises. Then I got a personal infection. And it wouldn't go away. Here I'm being drugged, beat, and raped. And they're stalking me. Dave hired them to stalk me. They go to jail for that. You know that, right? You know that, right? You can't break in somebody's home and tape somebody unaware. That's stalking. You know that, right? You're not really this stupid. Right? You can't sell videos of them in bed with their partner. You know that, right? You can't tape them unaware and share it. And them in the shower. They photoshopped a shower scene in the other room. Bragg they did. Bragged where they had their fake sodium pentothal reports, like where they got Eric high and he was sleepwalking, where I had the giant bruises. They were drugging me up and telling me say weirdo stuff. Ew. I never talked to them. I want to see the video of me sitting down with you in person. There isn't one. And you had no right taping me alone in my home. You go to jail for this. It's called RICO charges, 20 years. Drugs, kidnapping, fraud. It's 20-year sentence. On top of the sex trafficking and videos. Oh, you obtained a dispensed kitty corn. My grandkids use the bathroom. See, the whole thing of it is, Dave can't hire a stalker. People yelled that out in Walmart a couple weeks ago. That idiot hired a stalker. These people are stalkers, druggers, and rapists. And they have the nerve to say something to their victim that they framed. Oh, and admitted framing. March 24, 22, 130. Framed her before? Yeah, we framed her before. Shame on you. I know I wish we wouldn't have done it. Those people even raped her. Do I need to go over all the people that the drugs and told to say stuff in the shower scene in the other room? Huh? My kids knew nothing about this. Not a damn thing. They would have went to jail as an accessory. It's a good thing they didn't know. See, this has got to the point of retards. People with no IQ falling for this. Do you know when you're arrested, what do they have to say to you? You have the right to remain quiet. Everything legally, everything you say will be, can be legally used against you in a court of law, And if you have a right to an attorney if you can't afford one will be appointed to you. They're called Miranda rights. They're the 5th and 6th Amendment. They don't say it to you and they arrest you. What happens? It's thrown out. Do you know you have a 4th Amendment? Right to privacy. You have a right to be safe and secure in your own person, your places, your homes, against any unreasonable searches and seizures. Shall not be violated. The Department of Justice looks at somebody's home is his castle and shall not be entered into. Can Dave hire a stalker to kick in our door? No. Can he one that'll break in and date rape, drug me, lie, they have sodium pentothal reports? No, so I'll be sleepwalking. Is anything credible on those tapes? No. They try to tell everybody the police taped me up. They're unaware. Well, who was taping me? Retired Judge Pete. Dixie. I was talking to her. I said, do you know about Michelle? Because Dave dated her on a Rouge for a little while. She said, yeah, I know about her. We were talking about her. I said, well, you know about, about Michelle. I said, did you know about retired Judge Pete? She went, I said, oh, I know about him. She said, it was ridiculous what they did to you. They did to you for him to go out with someone else. A stripper. A stripper. A fucking stripper from 17. He was also dating Katie. He was dating Savannah. He was going to marry Kathy. She probably found out about the other girls. And then Michelle. Huh? You knew about all those women, right? That's where Delano, Eddie, or another guy in that church right before it started. You think you're better than her dating all those women. He was living out his little wild lifestyle in his 60s. Should have just let me go. You had no right in my home. It also says no searches, no seizures shall be warranted. You have to have a warrant. Did you have a warrant? Or did Dave hire some guy named Pete on his own? Hired some guy named Pete on his own. He didn't have a warrant, did he? It wasn't the police up there. It was a stalker Dave hired. It was a stalker. Without probable cause, warranted with an oath or affirmation of the people and the places of and things to be list of them to be searched and seized. To actually watch you in your home because of the right of privacy, and the right to remain quiet, and a right to an attorney is police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements. I was out here walking some of the original guys that showed up from the case. He was with the guy with the black hair, clean cut glasses. Okay. He was with his girlfriend. It's not funny what all those people did to her. Well, they were at Trinity Gospel Temple yesterday. That girl and her friend, and said some guy was telling them that if they taped her before, nobody was allowed to help her no matter what. They weren't hired to do nothing. They were hired to be my security, to come running. You know who was telling them not to help me? Retired Judge Pete's son, Alex, the white hair guy with his hair parted on the side. John seen him. Darlene seen him. Dixie seen him. It's Michelle's brother. It's their pathetic family. Running the biggest scam in the world. He had no authority. He's a civilian. He's not even a cop. Huh? And he was telling them that. They told everybody they were FBI. They were working the case. And it was a retired judge's family. And the drug cartel. And those strippers and pimps. And the human traffickers running the FBI case. That agent, like up in Akron, where they're going around telling everybody not to say anything to me. They were knocking on some of my clients' doors. The neighbor's doors. I went outside, and the officer was out there talking to him. He said, have you ever listened to Karen? Because they all know they sold the login. They sold FBI information. Made millions off of it. You talk about RICO charges? Huh? That they sold by Thanksgiving 18. And he was talking with the neighbors. He said, nobody finds any of this funny. He was dating that one girl a long time before all this the case even started. Do you ever listen to Karen before? Yeah, I've listened to her before, and da-da-da. And they were talking about it. They said, do you think that agent fell for their tapes before? They said, well, he knew better than to even look at them. Then he didn't even verify. They were all photoshopped, and we did. And he knew better than to even look at them. He better not have even known about them. Dave can't hire a stalker. Yeah, I had no right in my home. It's not admissible. And he said, we've all been getting phone calls. There's no excuse for any of this. And it's wrong to defraud anybody, especially victims. See, that's where those two young officers on March 23rd, 23, they come in Walmart 62, by the hair salon, scream it out. We told these people to stay out of this. We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She never hurt anybody, and nobody ever seen anything. They were the ones, June 23rd to July 4th, by the paint aisle. What are these people talking about? We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anybody. And then the girls dating the drug dealers, oh my goodness, the boys had a drugger to make her say those things. Nobody mentioned those tapes again. They already been admitting to drugging me and telling me say it since the first month of the case. They were breaking the use sodium pentothal on me, were telling me to say all kinds of crazy stuff in front of cops and investigators in Walmart and other places. And they already knew I was drugged and framed. And then they found about the shower scene. That where March 2nd to the 3rd, they put 2 of 21, they put 2 clips together, put her in a porn, it's not her, it's them. Then what they were describing, that's showering? Ha 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 ha. She figured out what they did. May 12, 22, noon, Bob was arrested, 6-8 men yelling at him for, we found a tape of them admitting a shower scene in the other room. May 26, 22, the shower scene was done on purpose to make you look weird. Ed at the Oakland apartment, Cleveland Avenue, they told him everything was drugged and photoshopped. December 9, 21, 4 p.m. Same day, December 9, 21, white man involved with dark eyes distributing food at the Stark County Hunger Task Force. Actually, was one of my security guards. Came out and said, and there's only 4 or 5 volunteers. Can't found them. Said, we always knew the tapes before were them and not her, so we never said a word. There was my client in Navarre. Her next door neighbor, the White House before, they told her retired Judge Pete drugged and photoshopped everything and made everything up on me. She went to the Canton Place and investigators. January 1922, the Department of Disability, 11 o'clock in the morning, they told them I was drugged and told to say it before. February 2nd, 22, at Burlington Coat Factory, that I was drugged and told to say it. March 24, 22, you framed her before? Yeah, we framed her before. Shame on you. 3-apartment building for me, tall white guy with brown hair. He was outside yelling last month. I really do feel bad about helping frame her. Because I found out it was her ex-husband with some guy named Pete on his own. June 25th, 21, 6 p.m. Or May 25th, 21, 6 p.m. Wendy's, Louisville. They were talking about the church people breaking in before drugging me, telling me say weirdo stuff. I got 2 witnesses on my phone. Dave was dating this fat girl, blonde, drove a blue car, came down, yelled out by that Saturday or Sunday. My car is bugged from being an FBI informant. Screamed at the goons from Ravenna. Are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession. He said, well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before. 8/9/21, the apartment building for me, second close defense. A lady and a little kids, girls used to live there. They laughed at me. For Dave, where I was getting sick on his drinks, that he had roofied me and told me to say something stupid. Well, a cop with a clipboard and a badge showed up, talked about 4 or 5 neighbors, told him that I was drugged and told to say it before. 1295 Fairland screamed at him for saying it to her, and she told him. November 2nd or 3rd, 21, Save-A-Lot, an African-American lady said that she was going to extort money. And then she showed up and told everybody in Save-A-Lot that everything was them and not me, and nobody better say a word. November 7th or 8th, 21, they scream it out in Walmart West. They found all the kids lying in 2018. October 5th, 21, in front of my one client, a bunch of people, they were talking about my ex-daughter-in-law, Melissa. And where they had her and Michelle had the kids make up mean games to pretend on Thanksgiving of 18. They got caught stating in protected custody in front of all the police. No, they lied. That they wanted the house for Auntie Jill and Papa and Grandma needed to get out. And then later on to my granddaughter Flora, for we're making everything up their games of pretend. They're documenting me games of pretend. Okay? October 5th, 21, in Huntington Bank, they were saying we don't want Melissa getting no money out of this. That's okay. They knew they made everything up. They didn't want anybody to help her. My client's like, who's that crazy Melissa? They all talk about lying around us. I said, oh, the ex-daughter-in-law friends with ex's girlfriend and had the kids make up some mean games of pretend in front of the police. He's like, she's crazy. I said, I know she is. See, that's where even on Thanksgiving 18, I went to John. I said, what's going on? in protective custody. He's like, I don't know, Mom. He said, I told Melissa that you're going through a divorce, you're going to be moving out. She's just going to have the kids make up something. It can't be anything bad. But she'll have the church people make up something too. Don't worry about it. It can't be anything bad. And I'm like, you shouldn't have said something until it happened. He said, well, I did. But don't worry about it. They can't say anything bad about you. He defended me in protective custody. That's where his friends 2 nights ago were at the gas station at the edge of Louisville. Look, there's John's mom. Look, she's some kind of nurse. I'm all mouth. He said he's told everybody to stop saying stuff to her, that she's never hurt anybody. And because of this, she'll probably never speak to him again. I know. Told you, they tried to frame Danny and Jen. Say there was an attorney for the shower scene. Christmas Eve, I go to him, of 22. I said, you know where they kicked in my door on the 6th day? Yeah. Do you know where I had the giant bruises, throwing up, almost passing out? Did you know they were date rape drugging me? And tell me some weird stuff? No. I said, did you know they photoshopped a shower scene in the other room? No. Then I told him about that weird Eric confessing. See what I mean? They didn't know. They tried to lie on them that they had an attorney. There's no attorney involved. The real law is if attorney tapes you unaware, they lose their license, they go to jail and they have to compensate you. The real law, if a road cop would act on its own, they lose their badge and they go to jail too. And you can sue the police department. See, there's no court order. You had no right in my home. They can't even look or listen. My friend Walter from the prosecutor's office, it's Stark County prosecutor's office, was in that office about 2 years ago. He said it's a fraud scheme. He said where they kicked in your door, they probably did set up on cameras. They probably did Photoshop that shower scene. Where you had bruises you couldn't explain, you were throwing up and almost passed out, and you were sick like that, they probably were date rape drugging you and told you to say something so you'd be sleepwalking. As if they could ever use it against you. They can't even look at it. They made a mistake and did it in your home. It's illegal to look or listen. That's where Officer Reinhardt Louisville, government official, was worried about me. Had him knock on my door. I told him about what they said. He started giggling like a little girl, crossed his arms. I don't care what they say they got. I don't care what they say they did. We could never look or listen. And until Will took your statement at the Canton FBI and agreed to protect you, they couldn't even be in your home. They would go to jail. It's illegal to look and listen. Nobody can be in your home except for protected light cases with statements. Exactly. I went to the Portage County Sheriff's. They tried to frame them. They knew nothing. Why? Because Dave hired some guy named Pete on his own. It wasn't them. They tried to frame them. They tried to frame the Ravenna police. And it was retired Judge Pete's family doing it. Took the hit money. There was a 25 grand hit on my life. They took it. To drug and frame me if I didn't die. Huh? Do you realize how pathetic they are? How pathetic? They're going to go to jail for this. Yeah, they have nothing admissible. They can't even look or listen to it. It's against the law. Federal constitutional laws. The right to privacy over a home. Do you realize I could sue them for every dime they got? They pretended they were FBI. They hacked into the Protect a Life case, sold it for millions. And they still have enough nerve to have people harass me for their crimes, run around doing their little death chants, have people run in. They're working with the drug cartel. They're working with the human traffickers. The Detroit boys were here. The Kingsmen from Texas, the ones that are human trafficking, the New York group, the Michigan, the Florida, the California group, that are grabbing people and selling them. They're working with them. They were here in Louisville. They were everywhere around me. They pulled a case and got Pete and Dave working with them. That's how sick all this is. Lori, my one co-worker, they killed her family member. They took my house manager, Melissa's niece, same people. Tried to grab my district manager. They took the girl at the ATM, and a bunch of other people are disappearing. And people are down here laughing at me because that sick retired judge that used to uphold the law, broke every law he could. How pathetic is he? He's going to end up in jail on RICO charges. And so will everyone in here. See, that's where the whole thing of it is. Those undercover police, because that agent opened a real informant program, protected custody, they covered everything in 18. They interviewed my family undercover so they wouldn't be brought in a murder investigation. Huh? And they all spoke highly of me, and they knew nothing of this. See, that's where the whole thing of it is. They knew nothing. They already cleared them in 18. Because what would happen to them if they would have known? They would have been an accessory to kidnapping, drugs, stalking, and attempt to murder. Right? Oh, they do have the churches taking up $25,000, and it was Keith Bishop, Strange, and Ron, because Ron wanted me dead because I got wealthier as a kid died. Do you know they had that phone call? They have it that him and Jack have this plan since March because I wouldn't give up everything willingly. Oh, that Dave thought his girlfriend's family owned the police up there. Oh, and he had hired 2 men to kill me. And one to shoot me if I ran. And I almost got shot in the head in the first 45 days. That sort of has him nailed. Huh? They forget to tell you that. I have a friend that I went out to eat with him. He said, I have a friend that has an $800 laptop. Said that they could Photoshop that shower scene easy. And they already admitted to drugging me and telling me to say stuff in front of the police. And witnesses going to them. Everybody turn them in. That one girl, does he think it's funny bringing her here? It was March 18. There was another lady that took credit for my bikes in 17. It's that stinking stripper. And stripper, if you wanted David, you just have him divorced, but go take his money. Did he ever marry you? No. Why? No offense, you're a stripper. You and your sick family helping out in this, you just want his money, take him. Huh? Just take him. Leave me and my family out of this. It's just like Michelle and her family. Why would you touch me? Why would you take me unaware? Why would you stalk me? Why would you drug me and beat me for a fucking stripper? He was dating Katie. He was dating Savannah. He was going to mail her. Why would you include your family in such crazy shit? Huh? Why? Because you made millions off of FBI information later on? Huh? You took the 25 grand hit? You're that pathetic you needed that kind of money? Instead of calling 911 and getting arrested and being front page news, you saved this poor lady's life. No, you want to be an accessory. Huh? To attempt a murder? Kidnapping, drugs? Do you realize if my kids would have ever said a word, they would have went to jail. If they would have known any of this. John asked me to babysit Kenzie Carrington, and no, I wasn't 19 or 20, but I was working. I was going down and eat with him. Going to church with him. People that worked the case yelled at me. Are you crazy going down to John's church? That guy could show up and you could get killed, Karen. Because that one girl called him and he showed up at that restaurant. John had a head cold. Dear God, the stripper was there. The older guy with gray hair with a blonde lady was talking about taking people and making them prostitute for the rest of their life. Alex and his group is in the back. And the serial killer that tried to kidnap me, tried to carjack me, walks by and sits behind us. And John's running to the bathroom coughing up snot, and I'm sitting in protected custody in a restaurant full of killers. He gets out, it's like, we need to go. And they're talking about where I'm going to die eventually, that they haven't planned out. And that they've been in contact with Dave the whole time. That's how stupid all this is. Got my kid out there. Think about this. It's like, do you realize what a sitting judge would do to them? It's going to be like my friend from the prosecutor. There was a weird case. An officer was surveillancing somebody on their own. And he found out. He went to a judge and he pulled that officer in front of him. Said, you had no right. He said, you had no right in that man's home. He has a right to privacy. And he can sue you for this. And I can never look or listen to this. That officer can go to jail 2 to 20 years. See, what they're saying is they can do all this to them. That there's no laws in the United States. We live in a lawless society. That anybody can kick in your door and stalk you. They can tape you unaware. They can sell you with your partner on porn sites. They can tape you and use in the bathroom, showering, Photoshop showering scenes. They can even tape your grandkids using the bathroom, obtain and dispense kiddie porn. They can break in and date, rape, drug you, leave you beaten, bruised. You wake up with some bruises. You don't know what happened to you. You're throwing up. You go to the. I went to the doctor for all this. And the doctor didn't know what was wrong with me because I wasn't leaving my home. See, that's where they were breaking in my home and violating me and beating me and raping me. And I had a personal affection. Dave was still touching me. This sick bastard. Letting that man violate me like that. See, what they're saying is they can do this to them. And that's not considered them as a victim. But they can get away with it because we live in a lawless society. We don't. They're just lying to everybody. They're looking at life in federal.